What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time to take back the power. What's your plan for
Hey, alright, so we're going to talk for a minute about political ideology and the variety of political ideologies that are out there in the world and how they might influence environmental policy. And we did that by drawing a chalk diagram on our driveway.
I'm Eloise and I'm the diagram and I'm not. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
So our political ideology diagram has two axes. Eloise is very hard at work. We have the y-axis, which at the very top, come with me Eloise, which at the very top is authoritarian, right? That's like dictatorship. One person makes all the rules for everybody. And at the bottom of the y-axis, we come all the way down, we have democratic. That's where people vote, and everybody gets a voice and a vote in decision making.
who you gonna trust when the judge is so unjust and the jury must discuss? Say you don't know.
And on the x-axis of our political ideology diagram, on the left side, we have progressive. And as we move over to the right side, we have conservative. The progressives push for major institutional and systematic change, and the conservatives are more incremental and push for slower change, and also maybe are a bit more married to founding documents like the Constitution. Let's think about what's occurring in the quadrants of the diagram. Here, we're in the authoritarian and conservative box up here in the upper right-hand corner. What we typically think of as the Republican or Conservative Party in the United States sits here. They're on the conservative side of the x-axis. And they are about midway up between democracy and authoritarianism. So we vote, we've got a representative democracy, we've got an executive and a legislative and a judicial branch, and we give them a certain amount of power. We definitely in the United States don't have an authoritarian system where we have one head of state making all decisions.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter?
All right, also up here in this upper right-hand quadrant, we have fascism, right? So fascists are authoritarianist governments or authoritarian heads of state that make all decisions, no vote, no democracy, no nothing. And they also commandeer the means of industry. They commandeer factories on behalf of the states, usually to produce military stuff. So the fascists are way up here in the upper right-hand quadrant. Okay.
Eloise is also practicing her Irish dancing.
Okay, here I am in the upper left quadrant. I'm in the authoritarian and progressive portion of the diagram. And here we have the communists. A bit on the authoritarian side because they often have a strong single head of state that makes decisions. The rest of the party just kind of falls in line and does whatever that individual wants. That's what we see happening in communist China today. But in some sense, they are a bit progressive because they tend to be communitarian focused, which means that they tend to support the good of the community and share resources amongst the community. That's what the root of communist is community. So they're for the good of the community in an authoritarian.
I think that this is a hornpipe.
All right, and I'm in the bottom left-hand quadrant of the diagram, the progressive and democratic wing. The communitarianists are a good illustration of what that means to be in this quadrant. The communitarians support environmental policies that are for the good of the community rather than the good of the individual. So they're perfectly willing to infringe upon an individual's rights if it's going to do a good job of protecting the broader community from environmental harm. Now I'm in the bottom right-hand quadrant of our diagram, in the conservative and democratic side. This is where we see the libertarians. They are for individual freedoms. So that's the conservative side, protecting the right of the individual liberty, but also democratic. So you can kind of do whatever you want as long as you are not injuring or infringing on the rights of others in the community. So they're for a vote majority rule, but they don't want to infringe upon an individual's freedoms. Got it. All right, Elle, that's the end of our lesson on political ideology and environmental policy. Did you have fun helping?
Sure.
What is something that you are excited to do this summer?
Swimming.
To go swimming?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you for drawing the diagram for us and for videoing. It was super helpful. Bye. If I'm not careful, I'm going to get kicked in the face in just a second. There we go.